Hey there! Welcome to another installment of Awkward Kid Adventures, where it's not the destination that's awkward, it's just me. I thought I would take us out today to Dunlawton Sugar Mill Gardens, which is in Port Orange, Florida. Turns out it's a really short distance away from where I lived, and I've been here for about a year and had no idea it existed. So I'm really excited to head out here, and I hope you guys come along with me. We might go somewhere else a little bit after this, but I don't know. We'll see how the weather holds out. It's been raining all week long, so we'll see. Let's go! Once you turn off the road that leads to the gardens, you're going to find a fork in the road, and you're going to want to turn left when you see that. There are a couple of signs, so you don't have to worry. You'll be able to see it, and you won't have too much trouble. Parking itself is going to be directly across from the entrance. Super easy. It's just a little gravel lot, but again, there's a sign that lets you know it's there. And there's also bicycle parking along the fence, and you've got both a trash can and a recycling bin if you need them. Alright, so here we are at the entrance, and if you look around here, that's the plantation. Just for wayfinding, here is the parking lot. And then we will continue on. They are open every day from 8 till 5. As you can hear in the distance, there is thunder today. You are not allowed to bring food, bicycles, or pets inside. There is bicycle parking across the way. And there's no entrance fee, but there is a donation box. They do welcome donations so that they continue to keep up the grounds. Alright, and over here we've got our info board. There is a map over here along with some other info to be aware of, like the fact that there is poison ivy here on the grounds. So be careful of that. And over here there is a little mailbox here that shows the map, or that gives you maps. So if I could have my lovely assistant inside here is a pile of maps, so if you want you can take one. Thank you. And then as we come up here to the signposts, over to the left is a little free library. This is the adult one. There is one for little kids that's further in the back if you're interested. Over that way is the restrooms and the water fountain, and there's also a little stand with some plants you can buy for donations. The sugar mill ruins themselves are off to the right, and then directly to the back is Nature's Chapel. So this place has a really interesting history, and I encourage you to look it up. I will leave a link in the description to the website where you can read about it. But the abridged version, to the best of my memory, is that this area once belonged to a man by the last name of Dean, and he was killed by either a native or a runaway slave. I suppose they don't actually know. And well, that's pretty. His plantation was actually destroyed in the first Seminole War, and it changed hands several times before being bought by some fellas by the last name of Lawton. But up north in Ormond Beach, there was a woman by the maiden name of Dunn who, along with her sons, sold the property that they had and bought this plantation, and they changed the name. They used her maiden name and then Lawton, so it became Dunlawton. I don't actually know where to wander. There are so many different paths that I don't know which one I want to take. Oh, I passed right by one of our dinosaurs. It's not actually a dinosaur, I believe. This is the giant ground sloth. So let's come back over here. Do the rest of you like running water sounds? I love them. I could probably stand here all day. Like that little fella right there. Hey guys! So the story behind these dinosaurs goes back to the 1940s when Dr. Sperber was leased this place. He was, I believe, Daytona Beach's first dermatologist, but he had a real fascination with dinosaurs, so he hired a man to make concrete dinosaurs that eventually became part of his attempt at an amusement park. It didn't last very long. I think it only lasted a couple, like maybe 10 years, maybe, before it was taken down. But there are several dinosaurs scattered around the grounds, and it's kind of amazing that they have lasted this long. Now, came back around, thought that was a statue that I had just not noticed before, but nope. He's just hanging out. Seriously, I could just listen to this all day. I don't know if you can see on my face at the moment, but it is humid out here and I am sweating up a storm. It is, I don't even know what the temperature is. I was trying to scroll down on my phone. In the 80s. There's sweat just like rolling down my face. So make sure you bring lots of water with you whenever you go out anywhere here in Florida, because the heat will dehydrate you real quick, even though the humidity is really worse than the heat itself. Make sure you stay hydrated. Super important. Also, as I recommended, get off me, see? As I recommended in my last video, mosquito repellent, which I once again did not put on because for some reason I was thinking I would be okay. I am not. So, come prepared. More prepared than me. So here is a little gnome village, gnome home as it were, which is probably one of, oh look at that, he's got googly eyes, do you see him? Anyway, I have to say this is probably one of my favorite things. I've always wanted to build a little fairy village. So there's your front porch, I suppose. She's just out there enjoying the day. They're very patriotic too, these gnomes. There's a little waterfall and stairs that lead up here. There's that guy right there accepting donations. He's very happy with anybody who wants to donate to him. And then maybe that's his brother upstairs. Here's the gnome forest. There's a little camper down there for visiting gnomes. Oh, they've got a flock of wild flamingos in there too. That guy's just sleeping. He's fine. And then over here, under this crown of, are these morning glories? I'm not terribly familiar with them. You've got all these guys just having a little festival, it looks like. And then all the poor gnomes live over here in these rented homes on the tree. They don't get their very own tree. So from the entrance, if you come straight back through, you will find yourself at Nature's Chapel, which is so named because these trees up ahead kind of drape over. As you can see from up here, this is probably where a lot of weddings take place. And in fact, at the beginning, there's a gazebo, and one of the posts says on it, hitching post, which you can only put your name on there if you've been married. So you do have to make reservations if you want to have any kind of events here, but I think this would be a nice little wedding spot. Oh, Brad! Damn it, Janet. Here we come to another one of the dinosaurs. This one's cute. It looks like a little puppy. The Dimetrodon, a ferocious meat eater that lived 250 million years ago. Well, I'm gonna name you Spike. You don't look quite so ferocious. But just off to the left of the Dimetrodon is some of the old sugarcane machinery. It says animal-powered rollers used to crush sugarcane came from the Samuel Williams plantation. This plantation was destroyed by the Indians and never rebuilt. So this isn't actually original to the site, they just brought it in. But I'm guessing... Never mind, I don't actually know. I was gonna say I think the animals were probably hitched up over here to turn that, and then cranked those to crush the sugar cane. But I am not a sugarcane farmer, so I'm not sure. Okay, so as I alluded to earlier, this place at one time was an amusement park, or it was an attempt at one. Dr. Perry Sperber created this. He had some dinosaurs made, and there was a little train that went around, and there was also a baboon named Bongo, which is where Bongoland got its name. So let me turn the camera around and I can show you another one of our dinosaur friends. So now we've got a couple more dinosaurs, and the dinosaur crossing, oh, and giant dinosaur footprints. You can't forget those. Let's see. I've got big feet, but nope, don't compare. So this is the children's garden, I believe, which has a little free library for kids, which is really cool. I love the little free library idea. We've got some. These are not original to the site. These were just obviously put in at a later date. But over here, we've got a Stegosaurus. And you can see a little bit when we come up here, the way that the creator of these dinosaurs did it. Well, maybe that's just his scales. But it's chicken wire with concrete around it. And that's how these were made. Come up here and see his face. Hello, son. So from what I'm told, these are actually pretty fragile. And again, T-Rex fell down several years ago. But it's pretty amazing with Florida's weather and whatnot that these guys were able to withstand all of that and still be around all this time later. So here's the sign to Bongoland itself, and I was incorrect. Apparently it was could you stop thunder? Thank you. Apparently it was the 1950s that this was a tourist attraction, but as the sign says, amusement parks were not really a thing at that point, so people didn't really appreciate it very much, and I think it was less than 10 years, and it all fell apart. Poor Bongo. So down here is a little walking trail, and I believe there are other dinosaurs down here. This might be where T-Rex was. I can't remember. But once again, you see how completely jungled Florida looks when it hasn't been tamed down for tourism and civilization. Here's hoping I don't break any spider webs. I saw a few people walking through here, so they did it before me. This has nothing to do with anything. Oh, mosquitoes. This has nothing to do with anything, but I woke up this morning and either something bit me on the lip, or I bit myself on the lip, or a ghost punched me, but right there, my lip is swollen. And I feel like it's a lot bigger than it is, but I doubt anybody even noticed it until I said something. Anyway, you're welcome. We're coming up on the Triceratops. This is my favorite dinosaur. Not this guy in particular, because he looks like his mom had an affair with an elephant. But I see somebody disagreed with that. I really can't tell if that texture is supposed to be dinosaur scales or if it's just seeing through to the wire that's underneath. But yeah, here's our favorite herbivore just hanging out in the back here. This trail winds around. It is a loop that goes all around. I have a feeling that the train probably went through here back in the day. I've been taking a super meandering path around here rather than trying to follow one thing, so I'm looking at the map and realizing that I'm missing a heck of a lot. So when you get here, follow the map, you'll be fine. But yeah, I don't know. Are you more organized than I am? I just kind of go where the spirit takes me, I guess. But I do know that up here somewhere, aside from the sugar mill plantation ruins themselves, which I was going to get to eventually, ooh, there is a very large oak, which I will show you here in a second. Sorry, my hand keeps coming closer to my face. I'm sure that's what you wanted to see. My arm gets tired. I'm not used to this whole holding cameras up in front of my face thing. But let me turn this around so you can see this giant old tree. So this tree, according to the map, is over 200 years old. And just look, it's a complete ecosystem, like all on its own. Look at all the different plants and mosses and ferns that are growing all over it. Another random fact, in case you didn't know, the stuff that's hanging down off of them, that kind of, to me at least, lends a cobwebby Halloween look to the tree, is called Spanish moss, which is actually a bromeliad, if I'm remembering correctly. It lives off the tree, but it's not taking anything away from the tree, if that makes sense. But let me set my water bottle down here. This is absolutely beautiful. Look at all these big gnarled branches that just go all over the place. There are a couple of these in the area, and I will hopefully be getting out to another one of them in the next couple of weeks. When I think of oaks, I do not think of anything that looks like this. And this is just so, think of everything that it's seen. It was here for the Seminole Wars and somehow stood through the whole thing. So if you go to the right toward the Sugar Mill Gardens, you will come up upon a butterfly garden. It is kind of cloudy out today, so there's not much by way of butterflies out here, but they do have some signs out telling you what kinds of flowers they have. I have no idea what this is, but it's jutting way out. And then we've got an herb garden here, but then before we get to the sugar mill itself, we've got the human sundial. So if you stand between the months next to your current month, your shadow will point to the time. And if we're on daylight savings, we add 1 hour. It is cloudy today, so we're not going to get anything from this trip. But I do have another clip that I will insert right now. Oh yeah. So there's June. I can't actually see my camera, so there's 12 o'clock. And I believe that's what time it is. So this property changed hands several times over the years, and it was destroyed at least twice in the Second and Third Seminole Wars. Now this building was originally enclosed and had several different rooms, so you can only imagine what it must have felt like between all the fires and the smoke and the Florida humidity. It was probably pretty miserable. These large kettles that are coming up here in a moment were originally meant for holding cane juice, but the vibrations from all of this machinery was so loud that the plantation owners made their home quite some distance away along the Halifax River. In 1862, the kettles were kind of recommandeered and used to make salt during the Civil War for food and ammunition and things like that. Between 1871 and 1904, the property was divided and sold off, and the roof of this structure actually collapsed in 1900. So I gotta say, I think that does it for me and Bob here today. Well, Bob likes the heat. He'll stay here for a while. But I was gonna go somewhere else. I had another location planned out, but it is entirely too humid out here for me today. So I want to thank you for coming along on my adventure. Sorry it was a little bit disjointed. I do also need to stop because my phone is overheating on me. I don't know if it's the weather or the fact that it's old meaning 3 years old. Let's not get onto that subject either. But yeah, it is beautiful out here. I do encourage you to come. I would say early morning or later. Well, they close at 5, so I guess you can't really come later in the evening. But if you want to see all the blooms and all the pretty summer things, come out here around, 8, 9 before things get too terribly bad. It's about 1 o'clock right now. It's only, I think, like 90 degrees, but again, this humidity is just oppressive. And I am a northern girl, so I'm not used to it. But yeah. Say goodbye, Bob.
Bye, guys. It's been nice seeing you. I hope you come back again.
Cool. All right. Insert catchphrase here. Goodbye.